example of a student work for the topic and review of literature essay. And again, one of the first things I want you to see is that this student has provided sufficient material to meet this assignment. All right, now right here is where the student enters into discussing his topic or her topic. So, and you can see a narrowing of the topic right there. That's good. That's good. The student is following what I asked. I asked maybe provide some sort of guiding question. Here it is right here in this. Oops. In this area right here. In my research, I hope to answer the question of how mainstream. Okay. Now, then the student provides a review of literature. Now, again, this does have a first draft feel to it, although really a lot of the surface mechanics like diction, sentence style, sentence combination, flow, paragraph arrangement is really very good. But again, please, I would suggest to you not to use the language of an assignment saying like for this research assignment or something like that. So far for my topic, I have only been able to find a few So when you actually come to write the final draft, and here I talk to the author, I would definitely just start right in with your sources. Okay. In other words, I would actually start right here. Okay. And then I want you to see that the student has 1, 2, 3, 4 sources. Now they seem to be books. You don't have to use only books here, but she has 4 sources, or he has 4 sources. And then see, now here's again the language that you need to take out, because this is sort of the language of a progress report that you are specifically writing to your teacher. But you want to envision your audience as someone, just the average a well-educated American adult who, for some reason, is going to give you his or her time for 20 minutes and is actually going to read your work. So pretend you are a freelance writer here, and just write it. Don't write to me as a teacher and then include comments about how the actual assignment is working out. So yeah, I would take that out. Let's see. Anyway, I would say that the one thing that kept us away from a 4, well, there are 2 things. This is an A, but I'm talking about a 4, the highest. So I need to see the works cited from the 4 sources. All right, and then I need to. I would suggest that. Right. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just pause the video right here, or let it stay there, so that here's a screenshot for you to expand and read. So you have that. Now I'm going to go down and get the second part of the page. Okay, again, pause the video, expand it, read it if you wish. Here's the third part. Okay, and what I would suggest when you read this and look at this is that there needs to be a more tightly drawn connection between reality shows and what happened with this news anchor lady. Because see, there are a couple claims that are already being made on the topic. One is that reality TV shows are convincing people that they need to be beautiful in order to be happy. So you need to first show that the people that get on the reality shows are beautiful or handsome. But where's your data? Okay, I mean, are you would need to look at 5 or 6 reality shows, and actually try to determine, is this a handsome person or an unattractive person? And how are you going to quantify that? What's your definition of handsome or attractive? So, I think you went naturally into the best place you can go, and that's say, look, they're physically fit. They look good. The women have large busts. They have slim bodies. The men look muscular. They look fit for the most part. The ones you're supposed to sympathize with. All right. And not a single one of them, the ones that you are to try to relate to or enjoy or side with, not a single one is overtly overweight or that sort of thing. And of course, you can also talk about attractiveness. There is a common sense notion to that, but you got to first show that the reality show people are in fact happy, good looking. And then you also have to strengthen the idea that there's a connection between the reality TV shows and the news. All right, I think that's what's happening here. Now you do the author does talk about this. Okay, let's see. In my research, I hope to answer the question of how mainstream news shows have the same characteristics of reality TV shows. Now that's worth writing about. Okay, so you're going to have to do a generic analysis on reality shows, which would include also the fact that you have to define this term, and then you draw up the average notion of a reality show, and then you have to do the same thing for the news and show how they're very parallel. You have your work cut out for you, but it is clear, and that's what you can do. And I think that that right there, this part right here, really finally ties in a lot of the loose ends that I felt were flying around, twisting around up here. But all in all right, this is around a 3.8. It was very well done. And I wish I had the majority of the work come in be like this. Meets the assignment. It's copious. There's thoughts in there. I can see the student thinking. Okay, yes, there's some stuff that needs to be fixed, but you know what? There's writing maturity happening here. This is good stuff. So, yeah, I think I would be fine giving it a 3.8.